Justin Bieber.
Yo, what up? This is Lunch Money Lewis.
What's up? This is David Guetta.
Hey guys, I'm Kygo.
NetSupport Radio. You're listening to Russell Prue.
Hi guys, I'm Iggy Azalea and Charlie XCX.
Powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
And a very good afternoon to you listeners. Thank you so much indeed for joining us. It's Wednesday the 29th of March 2023. It's 3 o'clock on the button and we are live from stand SE51 here in London. My goodness. And when they said it was going to be the best bet ever, they have not disappointed. That hashtag is absolutely so spot on. Welcome to the show, folks. I'd love to hear from you in this afternoon's broadcast. We are completely and utterly live. You can get a mention on the show, just like Craig Kemp did early on, who's not able to join us. But thanks very much indeed, Craig, for that mention. I said I'd happily shout you out on the show. Happily to do that. If you want that, just you can tweet me, text me, email me. All the details on the website if you want to find that, andertontiger.com/radio, or you can go to netsupportsoftware.com/radio. All the details and contact details are there. If you need our text number, here it is.
Contact the show right now. Just send a text message to 07 8600 26 400.
Wow, this is my 38th bet, and it's a lot of history in the making. An enormous amount has changed over the years. This year, the halls are divided in smaller spaces than they've ever been before, segmented in topic and areas of expertise. They've mixed shell scheme with big stand provisions. That's interesting as well. It's brought a whole a much wider, greater level of diversity onto the show floor, which I am very pleased of. Thank you so much indeed to all my guests today. We have recorded lots of them. Some of them are coming live in this slot. Hey, what could possibly go wrong for us as well? I'd love to have a shout out or give you a mention as well. I think Jacob Waters is listening. He is from Canva, and they're going to come and join us tomorrow. Jacob, that'd be really nice if you could. Thank you so much indeed. Keep those messages coming. I'll give another shout out a bit later on the show. It's always really good to catch up with our main sponsor, which I'll come to in just a moment. We start today's programme with the sad news that we've lost Paul O'Grady. That's an amazing accomplishment. He sadly died earlier this week at the age of 67. Oh my goodness. Passed away unexpectedly and peacefully, apparently, on Tuesday evening, so his partner reports. And I mentioned Paul because he's a fellow BBC radio presenter, and his contribution to, I guess, the love of dogs and animals and Battersea dogs and cats home is just phenomenal, and an amazing entertainer, and he's brought so much. He'll be sadly missed, and we wish his friends and family our most sincerest condolences at this sad time. My goodness, these things just didn't expect that at all. These things just come and present themselves. Amazing. Thanks so much indeed for your company. We'll catch up with Al in just a moment. You're listening to Russell here live on the Bett show floor. We've got a whole mix of guests, and I want to just get on with them because there's some really interesting stuff here, and it is a pleasure to introduce them. First up, it's Al Kingsley. Don't go anywhere, folks.
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
Folks, there's only one way to open one's live radio show, and that is with an annual catch-up with the amazing Al Kingsley, who is now a major accomplished author with his third book available now for pre-order on Amazon. Al, much has changed in the last year. Congratulations and welcome to the show.
Thank you. What better way to kick off? Always nice to have a chat at the start of that with you, Russell. And it's been a busy year, all round for the business, absolutely.
I'm absolutely delighted. Great space here, bigger than last year. A new concept, lots of nice white, which I think makes the space look bigger than it really is. I think it's worked tremendously well for you. Well done. What sort of a year have you had?
We've had an interesting year. I think as a business, we, like all things, you adapt, don't you? You innovate all the time. That's reflected very much in what you see here today, both in terms of our products and that choice we're giving schools between the traditional and the hybrid and the cloud-based approaches to use of technology, just to the way that we choose to engage in education. And we've always been, and you've been very much involved in the heart of that as well, Russell, being very much focused in being a community stakeholder within education. Lots of that we're doing again this year is about listening and learning as much as sharing what we're doing, and that shapes the trajectory of our products moving forward. We're very proud, 33 years now, cracking along, creating cool tools, but we don't take it for granted, and I think this is another opportunity. The layout of the stand is because we want to encourage voices to come on the stand, give us that litmus test about where the challenges are they're seeing with their technology journey, and see how we can respond. Very much as I try and do within my own split between working in the tech space and the edu space.
Indeed, and it's the edu space I wanted to talk to you now, and your dual role as the chair of a MAT, a very successful multi-academy chain. We're speaking later on in the show to one of the infant schools there, Dogsthorpe Infant School as well. Becky and David Waters are joining me, which I'm thrilled to have on the show there. How's that role been developing?
I'm hugely proud of our MAT. We started off as a school of one and then a multi-academy trust of one, and we've grown through the free schools program and also schools like Dogsthorpe Infants. I joined as a governor there on an IEB. Thought I'd be there 6 months to help and support change. 5 years later it was like, you know what, I can't walk away from this place. It's such a wonderful, engaging community school. So bring it into the family. And we're on a journey still. Growth is very much something that I think all schools and school leaders are reflecting on right now. And I think if you're involved in education, one of the things we need to always be thinking about is scale and accessibility of our tools. We need to be preparing for the future. And so I think it very much is, for me, you try and share and give advice, but you learn from the front line the challenges we're seeing in our schools and hopefully how we can help.
And it's particularly that and the new book about change, managing and managing the growth in the MAT, which I particularly wanted to talk to you about.
So one of the things that I'm very mindful of is that need for strategic planning for how do we grow, whether we're an LA school, our trajectory, where do we go from here, or MATs, how do we reach critical mass. Maybe the white paper, now sort of long gone, but actually the ethos of it is still very much in the forefront of the government about sustainability of MATs. And in previous books I've always tried to take the technical and make it a bit more straightforward, as if we were having a chat like we are now. So my new book is my school and multi-academy trust growth guide, and it's really, what are all the options on the table? What might you consider? And then I often think the real catalyst, the thing that you craft so well, is about how do we stimulate conversation? What are the questions as a collective, whether we're a board of trustees, trust leadership, local school governing bodies, what questions should we be discussing? And if we can all come to a position of alignment, then we can move forward. So I try and present the questions. I've been very fortunate to be invited to a number of MATs to go and facilitate those same conversations for them. And not surprisingly, I learn and I magpie a few ideas and think, that's great too. So I'm trying to save MATs time, but also recognise that, growth isn't a linear thing. For some of us, we want to pause and consolidate. For others, we need to grow fast for the economies of scale. For others, rightly, it's all about fit of ethos, and we want to make sure that actually it's a win-win. So looking at those different strategies, that's really the heart of the book.
Brilliant. Tell me about your Bett so far. How's your Bett been so far?
Well, like yourself, I'm a bit of a Bett fan, that's fair to say. So far this morning, I have been really pleasantly surprised. It's been chocker. I'm pleasantly surprised because I've met so many people that I really care and respect, and we've had a chance for a quick catch-up and so on, which is lovely. At NetSupport, the product evolution, the new releases that we've been sharing have been really well received, resonated well, which I think pays dividends to that fact of being a listening first business. It's been a really strong one. I don't know, how's it been for you?
Amazing, really good. I love the idea, the concept of compartmentalising the halls. So instead of one really long, amazingly fat hall, we've got lots of smaller halls, and that's made it busier on each of the show floors, as you'd kind of expect. It's just a maths activity. So it feels busy. You can tell from the sound in our background, there's quite a bit of noise in there. It's lively. I think it's great. Yes, excellent.
Yeah. And there's some really good conversations. I was really pleased this morning, invited to a conversation with a number of DfE stakeholders. It's a turbulent time in relationship between education and the DfE, but at the same time, there are stakeholders here listening, looking for input, looking for advice, and I'm really keen to foster that, and long may that continue.
Brilliant. Well, really good. We'll catch up each day with our Kingsley folks just to check our compass and see how his day has evolved. I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow and find out what else you've got in store for us.
Have a fab show.
The sky's the limit with NetSupport's award-winning software solutions.
Thanks, Al. Really good to catch up with you. It is 10 minutes past 3. You're listening to Russell Live. We've just had a guest drop into the studio, and I said, now, let's go now. So I have Charlotte Solomon with me now. She is Head of Partnerships and Developments at Second Chance. Now, those keen-eared of you will remember Charlotte from last year's show. Oh my goodness, welcome back. You've not changed a bit. You'll be delighted to hear. Charlotte, what's happened in a year?
Thank you. Well, actually, quite a lot has happened in a year. Our organisation has grown considerably since coming to Bett last year. We made some wonderful partnerships here,
Sure.
Which is why we're back again this year to hopefully make some more.
Brilliant. Now, just tell the listeners, if their memories are as bad as mine, what your business, what your organisation does.
Sure. Second Chance is a not-for-profit community interest company. We're a relatively new company. We've been going under 2 years, and what we do is we look to work with schools and companies, and we take their redundant computers. So when a school is refurbishing its IT or it's upgrading its computers, we work with them to take their computers, and with the computers we teach people with disabilities and the long-term unemployed how to refurbish a computer. So we teach valuable IT skills and refurbish those computers, and then once the computers are refurbished, we work to bridge the digital divide. So we make sure that those go to people that really need, that can't afford a computer.
Amazing. I remember now in great detail our conversation. I love the bit about using it not just as a computer, again, for a second chance computer, but also in that process you're adding some legacy value to the refurbishment skill set. I mean, that's amazing there. So what kind of achievements, what have you done? I don't know, what's the metric? The metric?
Well, when we began, we had our co-founder, Adam Goodman, who's actually speaking at Bett tomorrow, talking about the social impact of the organisation. And we had Adam as part of our training programme. And just over 18 months on, we now have 40 neat young adults come to our offices and work with us. So that's 40 adults that are not in employment, education
yep.
or training.
Absolutely.
And they are coming to our offices and they are learning really valuable IT skills. And it's not only is it teaching them skills, but it's providing a purpose for these young adults. So we're working with them to learn new skills, and obviously the more computers we get, the more that we can refurbish and the more that we give back. So we are now working with many charities to ensure that they have computers to give to people that cannot afford.
It's a win-win. It works every time for me. Amazing work. Congratulations again. Thanks for stopping by as well. If folks want to get involved or donate, or of course you need computers in the first place, I suspect, where can they go to? What's the website, John?
If they go to the website, which is secondchance.co.uk, that's the second with a 2, ECOND.
Love it.
And we're on Twitter and LinkedIn, and please get in touch, because the more computers that we receive, the more people can come on our training scheme and the more that we can give back to those that need. So really appreciate your support.
Now you're very welcome, and my pleasure. I'd love to do this more for you. You're speaking tomorrow. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we are speaking tomorrow at the Futures Theatre. We're speaking at 10 to 2, that's 1:50 tomorrow. So if anybody is free, please drop by and listen to what we have to say. We're talking about the social impact of the organisation.
Wow, that's just amazing, and congratulations again, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Who'd have thought? You thought you were going to record, didn't you? Come on, be honest, and I've just blocked you straight on the live show. You've done brilliantly, and it's lovely to hear from you. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.
It's absolutely brilliant there. Fantastic chatting there with Charlotte. I'm so grateful.
You're listening to Russell Prue, broadcasting on the Anderton Tiger Radio Network.
Just the different selection of music.
I like the variety.
Just the variety.
I never turn it off.
Good music.
Amazing.
Just amazing.
Plays really good music. Very good.
By far my favorite station.
You're the best.
Oh yeah.
I love you guys.
Powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
Amazing, just love that. More live guests turning up. We'll come to you in just a second. Now, this morning we had a fabulous warm-up exercise on the show floor, and it was just amazing. Listeners, I'm no stranger to a good warm-up exercise. I have to say, having written widely on exhibition protocol and how you motivate your staff, we've just had one of those activities here. Tanzii TV gentlemen are here with me. Guys, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Wow, what do we have this morning? What was that? What do you call that?
I mean, what would we call that?
We'd call it energy. We'd call it fun.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, we'd call it...
The best way to start the day, I'd say.
Yeah, a bit of active movement, getting everyone moving, a bit of smiling, yeah, why not?
Oh, absolutely, I'm all for that. Works tremendously well. Tell me about the history. Where did the idea come from?
So we'll introduce ourselves. So my name's Dario.
My name's Ottavio.
And we're from Tanzii TV, and essentially what we do, we're all about inspiring children to get active. We do this in the most fun way by our primary school workshops. We travel around the UK, going into different schools, showing how fun exercise movement can be, and then primary schools are able to sustain this active movement by subscribing to our website www.tanzii.tv, where we have a whole huge catalogue of fitness videos. They range anywhere between 1 to 5 minutes, really making sure that children can get active, teaching it active during the school day for quick brain breaks.
Love it. And unlike Joe Wicks, you are qualified.
There we go. We are qualified
Not
indeed.
A PE teacher, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
I just mentioned that. You know, it was good. It was okay for a bit of fun, a bit of warm up. But I like the expertise, and I like the fact that it's directed towards young people as well. So where can people find you? Where do we go to look you up and book you guys?
Yep, so they can book us on www.tanzii.tv. So even to find out more information on what we do, we've got all about our story, our mission, what we're trying to achieve. We've got an email address, info@tanzii.tv, to inquire about bookings, getting us to inspire and motivate your school. Book us in. We have a bit of a flexibility in our diaries, but spaces are filling up for this academic year. So if you were interested and you're listening to this, be sure to hit us up.
Book early to avoid disappointment.
There you go.
That's
how it goes.
That's exactly how it goes. So if you're coming into school, what can I expect from you?
Non-stop energy, really motivation, inspiring children to really live a healthy lifestyle. Because the key is, what we talk about Tanzii TV is by really getting it into the children's brains at such a young age, it means they're so much more likely to continue that. And really just how we started, we were both working as primary school support assistants during the lockdown, really noticed the negative effects the lockdown was having on children's physical and mental well-being. We wanted to make a change, and that is exactly what we're doing right now as Tanzii TV.
There's not a lot of alternative. If you're not sporty, I was never sporty, you can probably guess. If you're not sporty, there's not much avenue for exercise.
Exactly.
I like this.
Yeah. So it's just to get everyone bouncing. It's very inclusive. Our delivery, we utilise...
It was bouncy. It was bouncy this morning.
Yeah, it's just the delivery. It's all about making it fun. It's not just necessarily for those who are the most sporty. You know, it's just keeping it fun, keeping it active, getting everyone involved.
Brilliant.
That's what it's all about.
Folks, if you want to see the NetSupport crew jumping around peeling the banana, that has got to be seen. It's a post on Twitter, and you just look us up at NetSupport Software. Find us on Twitter, and you'll be actually see. Now, Tanzii, it's spelled differently. Just spell the URL for the address again for me, folks.
It's Tanzii TV, so it's www.tanzii, so it's TANZII.TV. So 2 I's in Tanzii TV.
I love it. It's amazing. Gentlemen, I enjoyed that this morning.
Our pleasure.
Great bet, and good luck with this brilliant enterprise.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
They won't mind me saying so, the Joe Wicks, but these guys are qualified, because I always say the Joe, lovely Joe, not a PE teacher. Bless you. Folks, you're listening to Russell Prue live here at the Bett Show. It is exactly 19 minutes past 3. A very good afternoon to KC. You're listening live and enjoying the show. Thanks so much for your tweet. Very interested, KC, she says, to learn more about Second Chance UK. You're absolutely right. You've got the URL there. Check it out. Lovely. And mention that you heard them here on our radio show. Now, it's lovely to catch up with old friends, and I know she won't mind. It's Dawn Hallybone here on Too Simple Software. How are you, my dear?
I'm really good, thank you, Russell. We've had a great show so far. If you're coming to the show, come and see us at SJ20.
She's straight in there, folks. Honestly, you can tell she's a
yes.
prized old-timer. Straight in there. Go on, keep going.
However, I'm not here necessarily to talk about Too Simple. Obviously, you can come and see us on SJ20. But also, I've got 2 kids. And when my oldest was 16, she had an anaphylactic attack at home.
Wow.
Had never had an attack before. Was rushed to hospital, and we were told that if we hadn't phoned the ambulance and my husband hadn't spotted the signs, we may well have lost her.
No.
During her GCSE year, she then had several attacks. I was trained in anaphylaxis, being a deputy head, but I didn't know enough about the product. We had EpiPens in school, we made sure we had all the training. But actually I was then introduced to Kitt Medical earlier on this year, who literally launched last month. And they are a defibrillator for allergies. And having something like this in my school as a deputy head for safeguarding at the time would have been unbelievable and would have made a difference. And actually, yes, we focus on having a defib for heart attacks and everything else, but anaphylaxis is one of those diseases that you can develop at any age, as I found out with my 16-year-old.
Wow.
So enough about me.
I know. I just got so many questions as well, and I'm glad you brought them along, because I mean, I can think of 10 questions already. You've brought someone along, and so also in the studio, folks, we've got Zac Marks. Hello, Zac. Welcome to the studio.
Hello. How you doing?
It's a great name for radio, Zac. I always love it. I'd love to have been called Zac, but I'm
Me
not
too.
a Zac. Yeah, I know. Zac is just a great. Tell us more about it. Tell us more about it. So what is it? How does it work? I guess my immediate question was, for kids that aren't registered or known to the school, how can an educator administer something to a child who's not on their at-risk register, for example? But I mean, there must be some other things. Tell me about it. It's a marvellous. You're doing great work. Tell me all about it.
No, thank you. One of the main things we're doing is providing that spare set of adrenaline pens that anyone can use in an emergency on anyone. So, as Dawn rightly said, allergies can develop at any time. So there are people that have allergies, they know they've got them, they've been prescribed auto-injectors and they're on the allergy list, but we actually see 20% of the incidences at school occur in children that never knew they had an allergy to anything.
Wow.
So imagine they were never diagnosed, they don't have their own prescribed pens, teachers are completely unaware. That's where this spare set can really come in handy. But we also see these pens expiring over 7-8 months. So often you see incidences occur and there's no in-date auto-injector. And that's again where this spare set can come into play. So essentially, with our anaphylaxis kits, what we do is provide 4 adrenaline pens, 2 of each dose to cover all ages, that run on a subscription. So they're always in date, always supplied in our kits. They can be wall-mounted in a school, on the cafeteria, front office, reception, and we provide CPD accredited online training as well, so all staff can know how to use it.
So let's just be clear on this. So it's perfectly okay to administer this to a child who you... So another question. So can you do any damage administering this to someone that didn't necessarily need it?
No, so we lean on the support of our pharmaceutical partners, doctors, and the leading advice is, if in doubt, use the adrenaline. It's going to do more harm to not act on it if there's an anaphylactic emergency.
Well, Dawn's the proof in the pudding, really, and that perfect example as well. Wouldn't it have been fabulous if our households had such a thing? I mean, it's just amazing. I didn't even think there was a condition that made you more susceptible to it. I'm learning so much now as well. What's the biggest challenge in training colleagues? Because basically what you're saying is that you're going to put something that says, if an emergency break glass, you're going to rip something else and then stab that into someone. That's going to take a lot of confidence, isn't it?
Yes, so what we see right now is, if schools are currently getting spare pens, and they might be putting them hidden away in a nurse's office, for example, and then that's really the nurse can touch this, no one else. That's exactly why we design our kits to look like defibs, and they're stored in the the lunch hall. They're really clearly visible. They are made to say, please use this if you need to. It's that sort of thing that can save a life. And we give this wide access training as well that can be accessible to all staff. We know that when we've worked with schools before, they've tried to organise a training day and people haven't turned up and it can incur costs, so we just give an online 20-minute video quiz. Anyone can do it, super easy and accessible. And I've got allergies myself, so
well, that's my next question. You've anticipated that. So you're the co-founder and CEO, so you must... What's your story? There must be something here.
Absolutely. I'm severely allergic to nuts, peas, chickpeas, soya, a few other things here and there. The list goes on. But I did design at university, and this was actually my final year project back in 2020. 3 years on, we've just launched, we launched 3 months ago. We're already working with 100 schools across the country, which has been incredible. Multi-academy trusts have an amazing buy-in as well. And if people want to learn more about us, they can just go straight to our website, which is kittmedical.com, and that's Kitt with 2 T's.
I love that. Just amazing. So you can't do any harm. Better to have one than not have one. This is a no-brainer. It's a straightforward kind of stuff. It's almost the story of defibrillators, isn't it, really, when we're trying to get those, but they're not everywhere they should be either, and we're still struggling to get funding, and we had to raise funds for one in our village, and where it was going to go, we can't have it on there, and it needs electricity, and who's going to train? Well, I went to the training. I said, let's get everyone trained up in the village and just get...
And schools are at the heart of the community, so if communities can't and it's not near the church hall, schools can have both. And, Kitt Medical's tagline is a defibrillator for allergies, because the children are more could develop it at any age.
Who knew? Just amazing. Great, what a great story. Good to meet you. Thank you so much. I can see you've done something about it. I like that. Thanks very much for joining us. They're really good. You've given the website, given the URL out. Can't think of anything else. Just amazing. Folks, if you want to get involved in this, I guess it's a no-brainer. Is it dreadfully expensive? I mean, they've already got these EpiPens anyway, so there is if they've got a child at risk, they will have to have an EpiPen anyway.
So what we say is a lot of schools are getting involved in these sorts of programs, but they're not doing it regularly, or maybe they did it once and then they forget. Current data shows us there's at least 1 to 2 children with an allergy in every classroom in every school in the UK. And so we really see this as, like you said, a no-brainer. We only run it at £500 per kit per year for all included service. And if they do use a pen in the year, then we replenish that at no extra cost. So it's that sort of guaranteed safety net is the idea.
I think better safe than never. We should need this. This requires a national campaign. This is the kind of thing that Gillian should have been talking about this morning, rather than say that's my final offer. Do you really mean that, Gillian? That would have been so much better. This is what the Secretary of State for Education should have been speaking about, and this is protecting all of our children. Zac, thanks very much for joining us. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Dawn, lovely to catch up with you. I'll catch up with you later on in the week, Piddies as well. But for the moment, thanks very much indeed. Absolutely brilliant.
And that's what I like to call.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
What's up? This is Adam from Maroon 5.
This is Kings of Leon.
NetSupport Radio.
Listen to me now.
Amazing. We promised to bring you the real diverse, rich set of interesting stuff, and that is a perfect example. It's 27 minutes past 3. You're listening to Russell live here on NetSupport Radio, the official broadcaster at Bett 2023. Thanks so much indeed. Some tweets and messages coming in. I'll come back to you in just a second and play my next interview. We caught up with this gentleman a little earlier today. Listeners, my next guest in the hot seat here at Bett 2023 is someone from iplicit. I have Alex Middleton, who's with me. Alex, hello and welcome to Bett Radio. It's good to have your company.
Hi, Russell. Thanks very much for having me.
You're very welcome, sir. Tell me all about this brilliant... It's your first bet.
It is our first bet. Not my first bet.
Of course. For the company?
Yes, for iplicit. Yes.
Indeed. Tell me all about them.
So iplicit are formed in 2019 from very good stock. So our founders came from 2 different sides of the finance world.
Yep.
One side developed a very successful finance solution called Exchequer. The other side implemented massive finance solutions for huge companies for such as Oracle, SAP. And so together they joined forces and created iplicit, which is a true cloud accounting software that rivals any finance software on the market, to be perfectly honest.
Of course, there's one that springs to mind, begins with the letter S, and as they're not sponsoring, we really don't need to talk about them. But that's what most folks will be familiar with.
Sure.
So tell me what your key differentiators are. What's different about this solution?
So, in the first instance, it's true cloud. So that means you log on to a web page and you are there. So you can access it from anywhere with only the security that's installed on your laptop. That's the first big difference, because we've gone, hybrid, haven't we? So
Indeed.
You do not need to go into a school to log into iplicit.
Okay, that's
you can
good
do
to
it from
know.
anywhere. So we have companies that we work with that are 300 entities large. There is no MAT in the country that's ever going to be 300 large. So we can deal with the consolidation for much larger organizations.
Wow, okay.
So MAT consolidation is really, really key. True Cloud is really key. And our reporting suite is phenomenal. So
good. I guess the people in the know will know what they need to look for. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a business manager, although I do run a business myself.
Sure.
I use an online accounting system because HMRC forced me to do that. Thank you so much indeed, Chancellor of Exchequer, for that little one. So I'm having to do that. I guess schools also have to do that, account for lots of things. Are there some interesting things about MATs that are different to non-MAT?
No, so we're willing. We're really keen to work with as many education institutions
Excellent.
as possible. MATs are just the sort of,
Well, I'd say more complex, I could imagine, because you've got that kind of regional, kind of global. Someone who's the chief executive might want to have a look at spend breakdown, capitalisation, capita spend on a whole range of different things. Catering, and lettings. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it must be this is my 38th bet, Alex. Welcome. Thanks so much. It's lovely to chat. I'm kind of been around the block a little while, so kind of know. I can imagine. I'm just trying to tease out what's different. I like the cloud. I guess the user interface is fairly standard and intuitive, as one would expect with a cloud solution.
It's 4 years old, so it's extremely modern. So because there are so many systems out there, and they've been out there for a long time.
Nice.
Ours is new, so the way that it's been designed to be used is new. It's new sort of technology, it's new thinking. So that means when a user logs on, they can navigate it by instinct from all of the other systems they've used. Even to the sense that navigating iplicit is probably as easy as navigating your Netflix or your Facebook.
Nice.
The menus are so clean and clear that you know exactly where to go, just by instinct, like I said.
And I can imagine the current market leader and an historical incumbent is there still because folks have a fear of leaving or coming to something new. What could you say to me that would bring me into your fold and let me leave something that I trust, may not enjoy using, but I trust because we've had it. It has historical value, it has legacy within my organisation. What can you do that would entice me across?
Sure, great question. So to bring up your point about, I guess, leaving something that you're more comfortable with, even though you might not like it. So we actually conducted some independent research, or some independent research was conducted for us, where we interviewed 200 MAT chief finance officers or finance leaders, and just under half, 47% to be precise, rated it as either requires improvement or inadequate, which is quite interesting. So that was the research that sort of spurred our approach to the market, because when you see an incumbent that's not satisfying their customers, and we have great experience of doing that, and we have great results from our current customers. 30%, 33% I think of which are non-profit organisations. MATs don't make money, so we've got a really nice segue into the MAT market.
Nice.
But how do we bring them into the fold? There's three things. The cloud thing is huge.
Yes.
Because the incumbent has a sort of hybrid solution. Ours is true cloud, which makes it very cost effective. And like I say, that modern look and feel.
And secure, I guess, as well. So I haven't got to...
Of course, bank grade security.
Yeah, indeed. I've got to lock my hard drives up all night. I can just imagine immensely. Carry on.
Yeah, so they're the three things that we really like the MATs to know. So the true cloud, the cost effectiveness, which is huge, in these struggling budgets. And because MATs are sort of compelled to grow, I know the 2030 EDIT is very optimistic and potentially not going to happen. There's a delay, but we don't know what that delay is going to look like. But if you take an action now and you're growing, we can grow you organically really easily by adding schools, because it's just code to us, and we can do that very cost effectively.
I like it. Now, where can folks find out more about the product and yourselves?
So we're here all week, of course. SD61 is our stand. We'd love to speak to as many MAT schools, international schools, as we possibly can. We want to get our name out there, so we're really well known in certain verticals, certain markets, and we want to do the same for MATs, because we truly believe we have a unique proposition for them. One of the things that we'd really like to discuss with them is our MAT pilot scheme. So we're looking to, some trailblazers that are going to use iplicit. We'll give them free software for a period of time, 6 months. We'll roll out the system with them and make sure that they're fully happy before we ask them to sign their official contract.
Brilliant. Alex, well represented. Folks, if you want to find out about iplicit, they are iplicit.com. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Russell. Thanks for having me.
Contact the show right now. Just send a text message to 07 8600 26 400 or email us using studio@andertontiger.com.
I love chatting with Alex there as well. It's 25 minutes to 4. Now, I had to just dive away from that conversation because I'd had one of my energy low-carb bars for lunch that had peanuts in it. Now, I mention that because I handed the headphones to Zac and his badge back to me so I could read his name out. I just needed to check that the allergy didn't cause a problem there as well. Best not to send your guests into anaphylactic shock just after you've finished interviewing them. It is really good. Fiction Express have been in touch. Hello, come over for an interview if you want. You are very welcome. And Kathy's just tweeted as well. I chatted with her a little earlier on today. She's on the show coming up in just a minute. I wanted to say hello to Elan Izaikal. I always hope I got that right. Elan as well. He's not terribly well today, but he's coming to the show tomorrow. Hope you are better for that. He says, thanks, Russell. Tuned in and ready to go. Hope you're enjoying the show there in Oxford. If you are there, really hoping to be able to come to the show, I can give you a wave. Well, a bit more than a wave. It's nice to have a chat, really. Lovely to catch up with you and see how you are. Folks, we're live across the planet. You are very welcome to our live stream. We are on until we've finished all our interviews. A few more guests to come up as well. I caught up with an infant school a little earlier today, and they are up next. Do not go anywhere, folks.
Bett 2023.
Every song totally rocks.
It's awesome.
It's all about my kind of music.
My kind of music.
You're listening to Russell Prue, broadcasting on the Anderton Tiger Radio Network.
Get on down and party.
Don't understand what's going on here.
The first cut on this record has been cross-format focused for airplay success.
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
Folks, I do enjoy a catch-up with old friends, and both of these people won't mind me saying that as well. I've got Becky Waters and David Waters from Dogsthorpe Infant School here with me. And you've not won anything this year. That's got to be a turn-up for you, Becky.
No, absolutely. We've had a few quiet years, but I'm sure there's something in the offing.
I should think so too. Good. David, welcome. Really good to have you as well. Challenges, Becky. What have the challenges been this year since we last spoke?
Oh, my goodness. Well, obviously, we're still kind of recovering from the pandemic, really. Just it's been a fairly normal year, 18 months, but still busy, and still lots of things to manage. Children's resilience and children's well-being, and just kind of trying to pick up all the pieces that we didn't necessarily anticipate. I'm sure many schools are in that same position.
Indeed they are. David, the podcasting is going from strength to strength at the school.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Is that all you dreamed it would be?
Well, and more. It was supposed to be just something for the parents to listen to, and it sort of went far wider across Cambridgeshire now, and we're delighted with that. And it's great for shows like this, and to come to the shows like this, because we can then network with great companies like NetSupport and Class VR and Trilby TV, all these great companies. It's something to share on our podcast.
I like the fact it's a nice family affair. I do like that as well. It saves them a lot of time. I'm quite sure as well. I just that the pandemic, as you rightly say, is a huge knock-on effect as well. And one thing people say, but it's only infants. Surely they're resilient enough to cope. Well, that's not quite true, is it?
No, not at all. And I think we've seen in our school and also across the other trust schools that it's our youngest children that have been the most affected, because obviously they missed a lot of their time in nursery and reception, where they would have built those social skills, those friendships, and just that resilience and problem solving that we probably take for granted. And actually seeing some of them now, they're just really struggling because they didn't have those times they could go out and about with friends and play dates and all of those things. It's been a really interesting and challenging time.
And would you say, looking back, David, that you had all the right IT in place when we kind of hit the lockdowns, or did you have to rapidly catch up?
No, I think it came into its own, really. We were already a good way down the road, thanks to having a governor Al Kingsley, who was already getting us in the right sort of position. But I think the pandemic gave us a fresh look at it, of what our equipment is, the sorts of things, the strengths, the weaknesses, and we're in a much better place because of it. So whilst I wouldn't want to go through COVID again, it's left us with a lot of strengths, as well as a chance to reflect on the past and to look forward with hopefulness.
Indeed, no one wants to go through COVID again, I can tell you, Mike. We weren't expecting that word. What are you looking forward to most this year, Becky?
I think it's just we've had a sort of a fairly normal year, if that's the right thing to say, but we've had so many more opportunities to have parents come into school, and that's been invaluable to get them in. If you think how year 2 parents, it's the first opportunity they've really had to come into school and be part of their children's learning. So just keeping that going and supporting them to support their children is an absolute pleasure and honour, and we just want to carry on doing that and getting them in all different ways, workshops, learning with their children, clubs, all sorts of things to keep them active in their children's learning.
I'd love it. I love following your posts and your tweets, and I love listening to the broadcasts that you share on the World Wide Web. Amazing stuff as well. You're doing amazing work there as well. And I think they are so young, these young people, and they're so confident with their speech and language. It's really, I mean, you can imagine what they're going to be like at junior school and what they're going to be like at senior school as well. You're creating young, confident human beings.
That's our aim.
We want learning to be exciting. We want learning to be fun, and that's the great thing about Bett, that it provides, the companies provide resources for us to make learning exciting. And I'm looking forward to meeting more friends here, more colleagues, and getting some new resources for our school. And if anybody's listening and wants to join our podcasting listeners, just search your podcast platform for Eddie's Launchpads. Eddie's our well-being dog. That's why it's his launch pad. So come and have a listen.
I love the fact that you had a dog. I mean, there are lots of dogs. I mean, I'm pleased he's called Eddie, because everyone I meet these days is called Barney. Everyone's well-being dog's called Barney. I go, is it called Barney? I go, yeah, how did you know? I go, And what breed is Eddie?
Eddie's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Oh, now that's unusual. Normally they're in the Labradoodle kind of area. No. Fluffy in a paint and brush every day. But, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations. You're doing amazing work
Thank
there.
You very much.
It's lovely to see you both and have a brilliant bet. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Get on down and party.
The first cut on this record has been cross-format focused for airplay success.
Oh, yeah!
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
It is the best station.
They have a variety of music.
It's a wide variety.
You're listening to Russell Prue.
Hi, good afternoon. The time is 17 minutes to 4 o'clock. We're completely live across the planet. An afternoon shout out to Kat, to Duncan and Emma Darcy. Hello. Thanks very much for your mentions. Keep them coming, folks. You can listen to us live and again as a podcast afterwards. Now, more live guests, and we've got some year 6 pupils with us. What could possibly go wrong? With me is the fabulous Matt Jessop, who's a great head teacher from Crosthwaite, Church of England Primary School. Matt, welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having us.
You've got a great face for radio, so don't panic.
Perfect face for radio.
Hey, not a problem. What are you doing here with your year 6s?
Variety of things. Just come to see some stalls, come to see some technology. On Friday we've got a group in the Sustainable Development Goals competition, and the rest of them are joining in with Kids Judge Bett.
Excellent. Well, it may well be visiting me because I'm on the tour. Apparently.
Oh, there you go. Right.
Let's talk to some of your young people. So in the studio we've got Ben, Sophia and Jake. Let's start with Jake with a question. Jake, what do you think of Bett?
It's really good. It's my first time being here, and there's lots of stalls, and we haven't even been to every stall, and
it's going to take you 3 days solid work to get to every stall, and then I don't think you could go to every stall. So you have to pick and choose. Which is what are you particularly interested in technology-wise? Would you go for the esports stuff, the gaming?
I think that'd be the gaming.
Fortnite, Roblox.
I don't really know.
You're not a particular game. You don't play Fortnite or. Okay, there must be someone, mustn't there, in the country? With you, you've got Sophia. Sophia, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. What have you come to see today?
Just come to look round all the stalls. There's a big variety of stuff here.
It's the biggest variety of stuff in the world, which is why this is the biggest IT exhibition of its kind in the world. What are you particularly looking for? What might you be looking for? What are you interested in technology?
I like most things. It's really amazing here and there's so much to see.
Good, excellent. And you're taking part in Kids Judge Bett. And I've got Ben here with me as well, Year 6. What are you looking for in the Kids Judge Bett? Have you thought about that yet?
No, not really. I've not really been looking for anything just yet.
What part of technology interests you? What are you most interested in?
I quite like the robots and stuff.
Do you do any of that at school at all?
I think we have done some, yeah.
Cool, excellent. And would you like the programming, or is it the physical making of the actual device itself?
More of the programming, yeah.
Excellent. Are you a bit of a programmer then, would you say?
Well, I do go on Scratch sometimes.
Scratch program. Excellent. Great platform as well. Your impression of the show floor so far?
Pardon?
Of the show floor, the whole place. What's your impression of it?
It's very big. Very big.
Cool.
I quite like some stores. I find it very exciting to walk around.
Excellent. Okay, just before I finally go round, messages for folks that you've left back at school. So they may well be listening now because there's some colleagues and deputies who are busily texting. They may well be listening. Do you want to say hello to folks back at Crosthwaite School?
Hello.
Anything more than that?
No, I can't really think.
Guys over here, so Jake and Sophia. So Sophia?
Hi.
That's nice. And you, Jake?
Hello.
Excellent. Come back to Matt now as well. So amazing. They get so much. Young people get so much out of the experience as well. How are things going on at school at the moment for you? Challenges,
yes. Financially, I won't go political on you because
I don't mind at all.
I can't use the language in front of the children.
No, indeed you can't. But you can be factually accurate, and I don't mind at all. So
schools are challenged. Yes, finances are a mess. Pressure of Ofsted and everything else is not really acceptable. There has to be reform. Are you up for many in education that don't think there should be reform? What that will be and what funding it will come with will determine how things change in the future. But I mean, currently 5 years on, you look at a lack of teachers and a lack of teaching assistants, the way things are going, and not a small shortage, a national crisis. We're not going to be staff in schools in 5 years if things don't change quite dramatically. So the sooner the government wake up and sniff the coffee and realise that, the better.
I couldn't agree more with you, young man. I couldn't agree more. I look forward to seeing. Are you coming on yourself on the Kids Judge Bett activity?
I'll be about. Yes, we'll all be about.
Sounds good. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. I don't know what you're going to do with these. Are they the same young people for the whole week?
They're off to wander the hall for the next couple of hours, and then they're going into London tomorrow and back on Friday.
What could possibly go wrong?
I dread to think.
Have a lovely time, all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely to chat with you. Really, really pleased. Have a lovely show, and thanks for dropping in there.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, you're very welcome indeed. Chatting there live with young folks from Crosthwaite Church of England Primary School there. The amazing Matt Jessop, and we will be catching up with these young people again on Friday. How amazing is that?
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
It's time now for a Batman moment. Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo, are here. Jonathan and Lucy Coy are here from Headteacher Chat, and your fabulous conversations and your fabulous conferences. You've got another conference coming up this year. How was the last one first?
Oh, thanks, Russell. Yeah, it was great. Really good fun. We had so much energy in the room, didn't we? 200 delegates there, all learning from each other, and yourselves, your wonderful self, helping us to compare the event, which was fantastic.
It was good. We had revelations and emotion and excitement. It was a really good. How's the year been? Because we haven't caught up for a year. So how's your year been since you last spoke here on the radio?
Oh, thanks, Russell. It's been absolutely incredible. The amount of contacts that we've had with school leaders has been absolutely fantastic, especially the last sort of couple of weeks with the recent events with Ofsted in the news. We've had a lot of head teachers and senior leaders getting in touch and telling us their experiences, which has been a real privilege really to be able to help support them, to signpost them, to give them some advice and stuff.
No, indeed, it was a touching occurrence really, and we found ourselves dedicating a song to Ruth on our recent broadcast that we did, which is really interesting. Challenges this year for colleagues, Jonathan. What's on folks' radar this year? What are they most aware about?
One of the biggest ones at the moment is the pay increase that is a big struggle.
It's not an increase. You're using that word incorrectly,
really.
Jonathan. But you're being politically delicious.
No, but for the teachers, they get pay rise. but actually it's going to be funded by the school. And actually, there's no money in the school. So what we're dealing with is a lot of head teachers who are really worried about the financial situations in their schools. We get messages every single day about what is their struggles and the hardship which happen in the school. So, it's tough. And the whole thing with the Ofsted, we've been involved with quite a few school leaders in the last couple of weeks about the pending Ofsted and how they're going to cope with it. And we give a lot of support and work with education support with giving them a little bit back and helping them out with their own mental health.
Do you see any movement there at all? I'm blasted if I could see anything from Spielman or anything. There's just no movement at all. There's almost they just want to ignore this and hope the problem goes away. I'm really not encouraged, really, at all.
We hope there will be movement. We've written to Amanda Spielman about our concerns about the Ofsted and the effect of the Ofsted on the senior leadership team and the challenges they have within that. So we're trying to campaign to support the head teachers out there and school leaders as best we can.
No, I met Ofsted twice last year. It was a particularly interesting year, not a particularly good year, but two of the schools I was working with, on the days that I was working there, they had an Ofsted inspection.
Wow.
And just so I was a part of it in one school in Oxfordshire and a part of it in a school in Essex, and was interviewed by both inspectors on both separate occasions. It's interesting, but you can see firsthand the pressure, the pain, the suffering that goes through. And I spent all day. Don't panic. Do what you usually do, and just relax. It is very interesting. You accept the fact that we need this level of measurement. It's just the way it's done. It's just the way it's done needs to change as well. It just absolutely. It's a parallel conversation with gun crime. I mean, do you think how bizarre is that? But I'm looking at my news bulletins today, and the same problems that America are having with gun crime and everything. We must do something about it, and nothing's ever done. We must do something about it. Nothing's ever done, which is really interesting. Anyway, good challenges. You've got a good supporting organisation, and I think that's a step forward in the process as well. You've got a conference. You're organising another conference. What are you doing?
We've got a lovely conference coming up in Birmingham on the 5th of October. It's going to be at the Custard Factory, which is a really groovy place to have a fantastic conference, and it's going to be called Empowering Educators, because that's what we want to do. We want to empower people.
Good. You got a date yet for it?
Not with Custard. Yes, 5th of October.
Sorry, I wasn't concentrating on that one. Well, good luck with that as well. It's lovely to chat with you. Thank you so much. I'm loving the colour coordinated book and the whole look as well. It is absolutely fantastic. If folk want to join you, I always say this to every guest as well, where should they go? Where can they find out more about your organisation?
Well, the most popular platform is Twitter at Headteacher Chat, and you can direct message us, you can have a chat with us about anything you want to in some way. So that'd be the thing. We also got a website with www.headteachers.org, so you get all the information. There's loads of blogs on there, you get the planners on there as well. So they're the two best ways to do it. You've got other,
of course, excellent planners and a really good chat up. They're always good for conversations and peer support, and I think that's what impressed me the most about the organisation. Lovely to chat with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great year and good luck with the conference.
Thank you very much.
Contact the show right now. Just send a text message to 07 8600 26 400.
I love that conversation. It is 7 minutes to 4. It is a National Lemon Chiffon Cake Day. Oh my goodness. I don't know what a lemon chiffon cake is, but I know I want one now. Amazing days as well. Lots of other days and lots of birthdays. I'm going to go into any details. It was the cake one that caught my eye. Amazing. Thanks so much for your messages. Lots of folks listening in. Mary Ann, thank you so much. And Richard Gerver, thank you so much indeed for your messages on Twitter. Don't forget you can text us, email us and tweet us live in our show. A few more guests to get through. It's where's the hour gone? My goodness, in absolutely nowhere. It's still amazingly busy. Normally after 3 o'clock it gets a little quieter on the show floor. It's good. It's a very good Wednesday. I hope Thursday can live up to that. Next up, it's Kath, and she has a brilliant story to tell.
You're listening to Russell Prue, your Bett radio show host, live on NetSupport Radio at Bett 2023.
Listeners, I'm topping up my international quota now with the fabulous Kathi Kersznowski. Did I get that right?
You did.
Hey, bless you, Mom. It's so good. You're from the lovely USA. Tell me all about yourself.
I am. I've come across the pond. This is my 4th Bett, and I'm so excited to be here. A little about me. Well, by day, I work in public school system. I serve teachers in 7 elementary schools in New Jersey. I'm a tech coach, which means I help teach them educational technology and ways to use it in really relevant and meaningful ways. And all their students too, of course. So that's usually in K through 5, or as you guys would probably say, what do you say, year 0 through year 5?
Key stage 2.
But I also am really, really fortunate to work part-time for a startup company from Seattle called NovelEffect. And NovelEffect makes an app. It's an iOS and Android app, and also now available on Chromebook, that basically it listens to you as you read children's books, regular children's books that you know, and it just listens and it plays these magical soundscapes with character voices and sounds and music that go right along with the words as you say them. It's voice activated. It's magical.
Now, I want to say, get out of here, but political correctness would prevent me from doing that. No, you're kidding.
It's the most amazing thing. My favorite thing to do in the world is to live demo it for somebody for the first time. I'll pick up a book and just read 3 or 4 pages, and the sound effects kick in. And the people who design those sound effects literally have trained to be like Hollywood sound effect designers. They really know their stuff. And because it's voice activated, every 3 or 4 words that you're saying bring on new sounds, and it's melodic and cinematic and dramatic, and I keep saying the word magical, but it is.
No, it is magical. I'm in my radio station here, and the best I could do is probably just some forest birds in the background there. But I know, and I've been teaching that for years as part of a radio station investment to get colleagues to record their worksheets on audio, so it's more enlivening, more engaging, has more bling factor, because we need something for currency to buy kids' attention these days, and this is a lovely way. Tell me more about the product. It's fascinating.
It's just such a great. Well, so it's an app you can download. You can download it right now. Everybody can go download NovelEffect. Go to NovelEffect.com or go to your App Store or your Google Play Store. Download it. It's free to download, and actually there's a free trial built in too, so you can read up to 5 free once a month. And actually, when you first get in there, it's you get 7 days of the premium for free anyway, so you can try the whole darn thing.
So, for example, I'm reading The Tortoise and the Hare, an Aesop's famous one, and I'm reading that, and so when I get to a passage in real time, we're talking about this in real time, I'm reading it or recording it in there. These sound effects are overlaid and it's all mixed, and I don't have to worry about any tech or anything?
No, your phone or your device literally just listens to you. You don't have to look at it again. There's no more screen time. It's producing audio. So I always do connect it to a Bluetooth speaker to make it really cinematic and dramatic, and the kids are enwrapped. They sit with their mouths open. They're in awe. Your little wiggle worms, the kids with ADD and ADHD who can't pay attention, the kids who sit in the back start sitting in the front. All of a sudden they care, they're engaged, and that helps comprehension.
Wiggle words. I love it. What a beautiful analogy. Fantastic. Your 4th Bett. I hope this is your most memorable, because I have so enjoyed chatting to you, Kathi. This is an amazing discovery. The best of it's a new startup. How long has it been on the market?
Well, it was around pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic things sort of dwindled as it did for many companies, but we've really been taking off in the United States, and I'm here at Bett because I need my friends across the pond to learn about it and love it too. And I'm hoping to bring it to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and anybody else from Europe who'd like to try it. I just think I don't want anybody in the world to miss out on it.
Love it.
And I've got to tell you one final quote. This is my favorite quote I ever heard from a 2nd grader after I got done reading a story. It was a wiggle worm, and he jumped up as soon as I was done, and he says, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I just got off a Disney ride." And that was from listening to a story.
It's what educators should be aiming for, because we're competing with that Disney ride. That's exactly what we're competing with in the classroom. And just going, hey guys, clap, clap, clap your hands. We're all look at me is just not doing it anymore. We need more. And this is more. Kathi, it's fantastic to chat with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a brilliant Bett.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It was nice to meet you.
You're listening to Russell Prue, broadcasting on the Anderson Tiger Radio Network.
Just a different selection of music.
I like the variety.
Just the variety.
I never turn it off.
Good music.
Amazing.
Just amazing. Plays really good music.
Very good.
By far my favorite station. You're the best. Oh yeah. I love you guys.
powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
Good to have your company this afternoon. Keep those messages coming. It's lovely. I was just reading some messages there and some of your emails. Thank you so much, Kimmy. Just coming out to 4 o'clock. We've got loads more still to come. The fabulous Lord Dave Smith is up next. Amazing stuff. He's here. All things Dave Smith now, listeners. Just amazing. Big cheese at BESA, one of the organising, sponsoring, the whole purpose of the Bett activity. Dave, it's great to catch up with you. How are you?
I'm great, Russell. Really lovely to be here again. And it's my 23rd Bett this year. And so I think we've seen and known each other quite a long time now. So it's great to be back here chatting with you today. Thank you.
It is brilliant. How's the show so far for you?
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely. We're going around visiting colleagues from across the sector, meeting up with folks. Really great to get into the Bett Futures area, see some of those startup companies that are reaching out to be sharing their products. Yeah. Some of those are with us as BESA Launchpad members. But I encourage people to get in there and find out more.
Have you been to one of the Connect at Bett events yet? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't, but I know all about it, and I think this is a great way to be helping visitors to the show, to be engaging with exhibitors, to be able to plan in advance that. It's certainly a way forward in the way that Bett operates compared to perhaps days gone by.
It's a game changer, as they say, and I think we say too. I wondered if you'd had the experience so far, because they've had one session already. I'm yet to meet someone that's had that. It'd be very nice to do that as well. What's your year looking like?
My year ahead is absolutely rammed with events at BESA. We are working on a new program, an enhanced program of additional webinars and support. We've got some overseas visits, so I'm off to Bett, Brazil in May.
Wow.
And hopefully off to Hong Kong later in the year as well. But apart from that, lots and lots of ed tech stuff. So really good. This week at Bett, we're launching a leadership briefing paper for education technology with our partners at NACE. We've taken the BESA ICT in Schools research, and we've extracted elements from that. Colleagues from NACE have written a commentary with key leadership questions to help school leaders to think about their overall digital strategy, and to think how do we benchmark our provision against over 2,000 schools in the UK to think, right, these are the things that we need to be working on, this is what's happening in other schools, these are the challenges they're facing, and these are the things that we can do about it.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's it's busy, it feels nice. We've had some great conversations here as well. I like the way it's been organised again. I knew I would. The minute I met Louisa, it felt different this year, because there was someone that's been to lots of Betts and kind of knows her onions, as we'd say.
I think that's really important, isn't it?
Oh, every time.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad you're thrilled. We're thrilled, and it's brilliant to be here and be a part of the show.
Well, thanks, Russell, and anyone who's around, come along and meet us out ourselves and NACE and the Department for Education in the Leaders Theatre at 2 p.m. on Thursday, where we'll be launching the leadership briefing paper for EdTech. So it's a great collaboration between all those organisations for the benefit of schools.
Good. Will that be available on your site for folks?
Absolutely, it's already available now. So if you go to the BESA site, you can access it from there, or come along to the BESA stand, SB21, speak to the folks there, and they'll give you a QR code to be able to access that. But thank you very much.
Your Lordship, nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Lordship, too.
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
Lordy, you wait all day for one and then two turn up. Wow, you can't beat that. 4 minutes past 4, you're listening to Russell here live from Bett 2023. Hashtag Bett Ever, and they've not shortcomed on their delivery. My goodness. It's amazing show floor, really busy, still busy at gone 4 o'clock here in the afternoon. Folks, they're normally heading for the shops. Of course, it's much lighter outside. I've never stepped out after the show into light. It's normally pitch black. because we're obviously before BST, GMT normally time, and so it's a little lighter in the evenings, and of course we're a bit later in March this year. Times go back to January after this show, back on the 24th of January 2024. If you want to catch Bett next year, don't forget you need to book your accommodation early to avoid disappointment if you are staying on site. Really interesting, lots of headline news about teacher strike and the Secretary of State's final offer still in the news. Looking at my news ticker tape there as well. Lots still going on, and that's still talking about Paul O'Grady. Really sad news today. Wasn't expecting that in any shape or form, and some other news stories that I'm not going to go into right now, but still loads more still to come on us on the show. If you want to shout up, make sure you can tweet me, text me, or message me if you want. Darcy Bustle's dance crew are up next. Don't go anywhere.
That's what I like to call.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
What's up? This is Adam from Maroon 5.
This is Kings of Leon.
NetSupport Radio.
Listen to me now.
Folks, you're in for a treat now. It's my annual catch-up with everything that is DDMIX. This is this brilliant dance, fraternity, activity, plethora of amazing workouts and things started by the amazing Darcy Bustle, DBE. We love her. She's just finished on stage. I'm yet to get her on the radio show. She so has a good face for radio, but I am blessed with Amy and Sarah. Welcome for our annual catch-up. It's good to have you with her. Amy, you're new to the show. Sarah, you're an old-time favourite. How's your year been?
It's been good. I can't believe how quickly it's gone. It only seems like yesterday we were here, but it's really good and nice to be. Darcy was opening Bett show today, so it's nice to be here from the start.
Nice and early, I hear. Nice and early. We did start a little early this year.
Yeah. We she was on at 8:30, so opening the show. It's really good. We got the crowd going though. Got up and did lots of dancing, which was lovely.
Good. How's the business going, really? So how are your numbers going? How's it progressing? How's the rollout of the whole programme working for you?
Yeah, it's going really well, thank you. We've always sort of expanding into more schools. We've been doing lots of workshops. The other week we did a workshop at the Royal Academy of Dance, which was really exciting for the local schools. And we've also been doing some live classes, which have been going really well. We've had sort of over thousands of schools participating in our live classes. And then Amy, she's running the DDMIX for Schools programme. She's heading it up there, and you're expanding to lots of schools now.
Yes, welcome to the show, Amy. This is your first time on the radio. I don't know if it's your first bet or not. How are you finding it all?
It's always great as we're wandering around, we kind of hearing from people who were in the talk with Darcy this morning, and they're like, oh, we love your talk, thank you so much. I wish I could start every morning like that, getting active, which is obviously what we want to do, especially.
Well, you can start every morning like that, and that's what we're here for, really. Good. So numbers good, rollout program going well for you?
Yeah, we're having schools renewing every year, and we're growing actually a lot of activity over in Wales. We've recently translated our programme into Welsh, so to kind of follow that demand in Wales, and obviously there's been a big change in curriculum in Wales, and we're absolutely here for that because they're acknowledging the arts, which is obviously we want to see that, as well as the well-being and children development and everything like that. So we're excited to go to a few schools and events in Wales as well, but we're very excited to be here at Bett because we'll be bringing along actually one of our member schools to do a bit of a demo later on with Darcy. So
wow! And is that in the main auditorium?
It's in the Teaching and Learning Theatre this afternoon at 1:40, I believe it is.
Wow! Good luck with that.
So yeah, we're kind of giving a bit of a taster of the programme that we have, hoping that we're going to attract and actually get adults and children active while they're here. So it's a good way to.
Just remind folks, Sarah, of the service. What is it? It's a website, it's a series of stuff. How do I go? Where do I go to subscribe?
So if you go to our website, ddmixforschools.com, it's an online membership where you can have access to the dance curriculum, the DDMIX curriculum, And then we also offer in-person workshops. We also provide PPA cover as well. And then we also do teacher training in set days as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So I don't have to have a physical person in school if that's not possible?
No, yeah, exactly. We do that, but then also a lot of our schools, because we're all over the world actually. We've got, member schools in all sorts of countries. So they just pay an online membership and then they have access to the programme. And it's really nice as well for the teachers, because lots of teachers, they don't really like teaching dance. So they don't really know where to start and what to do, and we're able to help them and support them.
I think it's the confidence, isn't it? You can teach anything if you've got the resources and the support. It's the confidence, isn't it, to do that? And I think you give the confidence. Lovely to see you in the brightest of T-shirts again, ever again. Good luck with Darcy's. And if she has a spare second, wheel her on. She'd get a good time.
Yeah, she was wanting to pop by to say hello.
If she did, that would be very nice. It is lovely to see you both, and congratulations on such a successful programme. And good luck this afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to Russell Prue, your Bett radio show host, live on NetSupport Radio at Bett 2023.
I have to face the fact that Darcy is never going to come to the studio, that every year she sends these two perfectly serviceable young ladies to speak on her behalf, but what a gift for a selfie. Well, never mind. The fact that she was here that early, congratulations, thank you so much. Good to have you on the arena. It's a fabulous arena as well. I hope you're looking at some photographs of that. As you come out of the halls, there's a direct link to the arena, and you go down some steps because it's actually on the lower ground area of Excel in another hall. But you step down to it. It's incredibly grand and really, really beautifully lit this year. They've spent a bit of money on that. It's a fantastic space and lovely activities going on in there as well. So our last guest is coming up in just a moment. This is Joe Moretti. He has a brilliant product called Sleuth IT, and he talks about, he's also got a brilliant stand. If you've not seen the tweets on his stand, look Sleuth IT up. He'll tell you about his stand in just a moment. Amazing stuff still to come on the show.
The sky's the limit with NetSupport's award-winning software solutions.
Folks, it's great to catch up with old friends, and he won't mind me saying that. Joe Moretti from Sleuth IT. It's got to be 18 years, hasn't it?
Well, 18 years of you and I sparring and doing this show, yes.
Possibly even longer.
It's a bit of a shock.
It is, and you have by far the most gorgeous stand at the show, and I commented last night on your tweet, and you're getting that already from folks. Tell us about the stand.
So the stand, the whole point of it was to do something a little bit different. We have a 3-seat Chesterfield sofa where people can just sit and relax. Sleuth, it's not about hard sell, Russell. I mean, it's so frenetic here. It's actually about having a quality conversation about education, and we're pretty much 100% on literacy. And I think what we're finding is that people just having a quality conversation about how to engage students with reading, but using our adventure games is what we're finding. It's far more effective than push. So we're not really into that anymore.
Amen to that. I've, as you said in our pre-show conversation, you've stopped taking leads. I've stopped taking conversations. I don't write anyone's address down.
Yes, exactly.
It's all about that, the possibility of a further conversation which may or may not lead to a sale.
Well, one of the things we've changed is looking at how Sleuth it was scale.
Yes.
So if a school, just a teacher, I mean, we've got one school in Aberdeen, lovely little school, total of 30 students.
Wow.
And maybe most
amazing.
Products or manufacturers or developers would not even look at a school like that.
Sure.
But we actively have them as one of our clients because they are using Sleuth It to engage students and get them excited. So if somebody wants to try Sleuth It for a whole term, it's free. There's no GDPR, there's no sign up on the student. We're not trying to capture and then pursue you to the nth degree to buy our subscription, which, by the way, we've also changed. The subscription per head is about £1.25 per student for the year to access everything. For the show, we're saying if you sign up within a month, you can have that for £1 a head. And that's the sell part, if you like. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that actually, if you've got 200 students and you're going to use 150 of them, that's 150 to 200 pounds. That's not going to break anybody's back. Most of our customers come back. Most of our customers stay with us because we have a different approach. So somebody said to me, well, this doesn't seem a very cost-effective use of your time, Joe, to keep jumping on Zoom to talk to teachers. And I said, well, actually, you'd be amazed what happens in a conversation when somebody says to me, oh, we devised a project based around critical thinking. Well, they've just given me a whole new idea because I'm not trying to sell them something. I want to know what's working for you with your students. And I think particularly today, education is in a very different place from 18 years ago.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. So where can folks find the website? Tell me all about that.
I think the easiest way, if they went to sleuthit.com, I've now got a redirect, which will actually redirect to intuitionuk.co.uk, which is my whole website. We've taken everything into one place.
Cool.
The stand is SH82. It's by that big theatre over there. And just coming by and having a chat and picking up a card. It's not a hard sell.
I do love a Chesterfield.
I know you do. So how's the show going with you already?
It's class. Classier as a Chesterfield. Folks like yourself. The challenges are interesting. No new news from the Secretary of State. Missed her. She was late. Lots of people left, sadly, as she came onto stage because they wanted to get on to do other things. Let's say that, shall we?
Yeah.
No new pay offer. No difference. We're exactly where we were at the beginning of the week.
I thought the final offer was. I thought they were already on the final offer.
No, this is the Now Wants to Be a Millionaire. This is the final answer. Is that your final answer?
Can I ring a friend?
No, apparently
have you got one?
She can't. Still, never mind. Interesting things like you see, we can have that kind of level of discussion. I do enjoy that. Joe, it is lovely to see you doing amazing work. I love the product. I have always loved the product. It is pupil-led, creative problem solving at its very best.
Well, if it's okay with you, I'd like to mention one more thing.
Do, please.
And not to be mawkish, but I've had a lot of reflection on what you do and the quality of what you do. And a lot of what we have developed came out of conversations with our dear friend Tim Rylands.
Indeed.
And the reason I want to mention that is I think it's important not to forget important people.
Yeah.
And he was very inspirational, and if anybody is listening to this and ever saw the impact he could have, coming back here does remind me of those times we had with him. So I'm just simply saying that it's a sort of name I don't want to forget.
No, mean it. I'm still use his ladies and gentle spoons when you're talking to an audience. That's actually safer now than it was a few years ago.
And fruit flies like bananas and all that. Yes.
Perfect. I still find myself using it, and I do think about him a lot and miss him a great deal.
So do I. Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat.
It is great to speak with you, Joe. It's just amazing. And here's to old friends.
Fantastic.
NetSupport Radio, powered by Anderton Tiger, the official broadcaster of Bett 2023.
Oh, how appropriate to mention the fabulous Tim Rylands on our show. Joe Moretti, thanks so much indeed for taking the time. It's 17 minutes past 4. Well, folks, that's the end of our guests for today. I've got a music track I'm going to play for you now to comply with my Mixcloud upload requirements. Mixcloud is a brilliant site. I can directly send this show up there without any editing. It's the quickest, fastest way of doing that, and I'm going to place this in there for you so you can enjoy this song with the whole of the show. I'm going to play this year's Eurovision Song Contest entry. It's May Muller, and this one's called I Wrote a Song. Wow, amazing. That so doesn't sound like our entry. It sounds like someone else's entry, which is why it could be a winner. My goodness. Well, that's all we got time for today. It's 21 minutes past 4, and that's it for your Day 1 Bett show. You've been listening to me, Russell Prue, on NetSupport Radio. What a thrilling, exciting Day 1 at Bett it has been. Thanks very much for your company this afternoon. We're back here doing it all again at 3 o'clock. Do make a date. If you want to listen to yourself or any of the podcasts, you'll find those published later on the NetSupport website. I'm going to publish the show right now up on the website. You'll be able to listen to the whole lot again as one big gorgeous file in a very short few minutes. Until then, thanks so much indeed. Have a lovely evening, whatever you're doing, and stay incredibly safe.